Let me give you more reasons to follow the homie Sil for the latest news, scoops and moves he's about to reveal. From coffee talks to special brews, I'm out of burgers for meals. A cup of bourbon with that tea that's about to get spilled. Like, what's the latest word? Yo, Sil, we need to know. Tell us what you heard, yo, Sil, we need to know. The ins and outs, who's walking out, buying in, we need to know. Your thoughts on what's new, what you do to stream a hell of a show. Let's go, take out your pen and paper, sit down and take notes. Sil is the realest among imposters, scavenging cutthroats. So, what's the latest word? Yo, Sil, we need to know. Tell us what you heard, yo, Sil, we need to know. The ins and outs, who's walking out, buying in, we need to know. Your thoughts on what's new, what you do to stream a hell of a show. Let's go. One hell of a show, let's go. Between DC and Marvel, they both have a startle. Disney's moving finicky, let's not mention Star Wars. All these movie execs be drunk off their power, disconnected from the fans in the ivory towers. What's the latest word? Yo, Sil, we need to know. Tell us what you heard, yo, Sil, we need to know. The ins and outs, who's walking out, buying in, we need to know. Your thoughts on what's new, what you do to stream a hell of a show. Let's go. When they keep making the same mistake, that's what you call insanity. They can't even acknowledge their self-inflicted calamity. What's the latest word? Yo, Sil, we need to know. Tell us what you heard, yo, Sil, we need to know. The ins and outs, who's walking out, buying in, we need to know. Your thoughts on what's new, what you do to stream a hell of a show. Let's go. One hell of a show, let's go. Scoop Senator, Coffee Talks, also covering analytics, making his own reviews, cause it's always been the critics. They clout chasers, money driven, repeating the latest gimmick. Come over to Sil Nation where true vision is given. Listen, what's the latest word? Yo, Sil, we need to know. Tell us what you heard, yo, Sil, we need to know. The ins and outs, who's walking out, buying in, we need to know. Your thoughts on what's new, what you do to stream a hell of a show. Let's go. Let's not forget Mikey's son, always special to the crew. From day one when him and Sil got together for special brew. What's the latest word? Yo, Sil, we need to know. Tell us what you heard, yo, Sil, we need to know. The ins and outs, who's walking out, buying in, we need to know. Your thoughts on what's new, what you do to stream a hell of a show. Let's go. One hell of a show, let's go. I guess I'll finish on this note. When the niggas go flip mode, they turn gremlins, I'm Gizmo. Come from my people, my kinfolk. For them I ride for and kill for. With this pistol I'm skillful. She can really escalate till it all goes abysmal. What's the latest word? Yo, Sil, we need to know. Tell us what you heard, yo, Sil, we need to know. The ins and outs, who's walking out, buying in, we need to know. Your thoughts on what's new, what you do to stream a hell of a show. I'm a watchman, forever vigilant, steady watching and listening, disciplined, militant, killing these dudes that started visiting. What's the latest word? Yo, Sil, we need to know. Tell us what you heard, yo, Sil, we need to know. The ins and outs, who's walking out, buying in, we need to know. Your thoughts on what's new, what you do to stream a hell of a show. Let's go. One hell of a show, let's go.
What's up? We're here for the Saturday show. This is the Sylabdul podcast. This is where we talk the latest CBM film, geek news, informative, objective, and dynamic. I took a little break. My birthday week was last week, so much appreciate all the birthday wishes. We're officially OG out here. We're officially in OG territory, and but we are kids and geeks at heart. Much love to Sil Nation. Saturday is going to be the day, y'all. Saturday, so I set this in advance, and Saturdays y'all going to get the full show, recapping stuff for this week. Looking forward to stuff as well. This is going to be the show Saturdays for sure. Much love to Sil Nation. We see Maria, we see Real Talk in the chat, and some of the comments they were captured and put them on the screen. We'll see how that goes. But I see Gisley Jack and Andres Fernando was good. Happy Memorial Day weekend officially, but I don't have Monday off, so it's all good. But man, I'm gonna enjoy the weekend. But I gotta get up early Monday, but it's all good. And you Mutt Cam, I see you in the chat as well too. You had the first comment, much appreciated. We got a few things to touch on today. Much love to sickness. We see sickness. We could blow some of these up here. Sil Nation in the house Saturdays. Y'all tap in. We're gonna be here with the latest. We'll be here what we talking about. the core of what we want to talk about on this channel. I had a very interesting video, and L or me, I should have had the image ready. We're a little rusty. We took a couple weeks off. But I posted a video, State of the Phantom, this past week. We did a couple of them. We had one with VEGA, and then we had another one, and that video did pretty good. And we had another one with Jules, the longtime contributor on the Wednesday crew. The crew ain't gone. The crew's still here. And it was a pretty explosive State of the Fandom video. And people had a lot to say about this one. Redoing the BVS story. Man, I knew the comment section was going to get a little crazy, but it went beyond. Much like the calls, I see you giving me the L. It went beyond. And so I was like, okay, we got to address some of the comments just to, communicate with the audience. Like I said, Saturday, we back regular unless something comes up. So we're going to talk about the comments, and I'm going to answer some questions and address a few things from that video, right? So that's going to be one of the things we're going to do on this show. And then also, we got a few updates we may throw up here and there, a couple video clips here and there. Y'all know it's a full show when we do that. But make sure y'all smashing the like. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure y'all know Saturday is the day to be here for the live. During the week, I upload stuff, So for the live show, you want to catch us Saturday. All right, so we're going to get the word out. Much love to Jovic. Reminding y'all, we here. All right. Before I get to the stories, also you can support the platform. I mean, obviously the channel's back monetized, so I appreciate all the views coming back on the channel. I'm able to unlock some of the older videos. People like some of the older videos on this channel as well. And also another way to support is become a patron. Patreon links in the description, patreon.com/sylabdul. This is the latest coffee talk I did. Most coffee talks are going to end up on Patreon. So just to let y'all know that it'll be some select ones I will do on the live YouTube, the YouTube channel, the main YouTube channel. When topics are pertinent, right? I know the main audience of the YouTube channel, y'all really don't talk Marvel a lot, right? So we're going to do that to the Patreon platform. But when I have some interesting DC stuff, Zack Snyder related stuff as well, the main YouTube channel will get that episode. But this is the episode that's live on Patreon. Again, become a patron to select your appropriate level of support. Much appreciated. All right. What else we got? Links in the description for a Patreon. Also, all my rumors and scoops are over there on the Patreon as well, too. On the YouTube channel, because we're on X, Twitter as well. Much love. On the YouTube channel, I'm doing a lot more interviews with, entertainment, comic creators, and things like that. Conversations. That's going to be on the YouTube channel for the members as well. So definitely check that out. If you are a member, become a member. You'll get exclusive videos on YouTube as well. It's a different experience. It's not a lot of scooping on the YouTube channel as far as the members. It's more of just exclusive interviews and videos. All the scoops and exclusives are on the Patreon. So join patreon.com for those. I'm always hearing stuff. May not be what you want to hear about DC, but I'm always hearing stuff. All right. Real quick, it's one thing I try to do as well. I stay up with my comics. Just want to recommend real quick the comic of the week. If you know, you know. Superman Unlimited. This is the new Dan Slott. Summer of Superman is official. This comic here, bro. First of all, it's a number one issue, right? So you definitely want to get those number ones when you can. A new era of Superman, and they're not playing around with this comic, bro. A lot of people, they say, "Oh, Dan Slott, he's hit or miss," and it's true. The Superior Spider-Man, you can't take that away from him. I'm sorry, when you have like a huge W, like when you win the championship, you can't take the championship rings away. Like Dan Slott did one of the best Spider-Man stories ever. And then at times, there we go. I hate Dan Slott. But like, what about Superior Spider-Man? That's one of the greatest Spider-Man stories ever. Now, if you don't like him personally, I don't know. I mean, you probably won't like any creators personally. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about his personal views. I don't know, really, to be quite honest. But Superior Spider-Man, he got a championship belt with that one. And I'm saying on this Superman Unlimited, it just came out this past week. If you are a comic book reader and if you are a DC fan, if you're a comic, Superman Unlimited, this is the one that has a variant cover with James Gunn. Yes, that is true. Yeah, that may hurt some feelings. Definitely go Pacers. Indianapolis is my second home. So if the Pacers make the finals, Fernando, I'm going to drive up to Indy. It's like less than an hour and a half away from me. It's probably like a less than a 90-minute drive. And we're going to go get it in Indianapolis, in Naptown, as they call it, Circle City. If the Pacers pull this off, I'm going to make a finals visit to Indianapolis. All right. But yeah, you comic fans, DC comic readers, like when I told y'all, I said, Absolute Wonder Woman by Kelly Thompson is the best comic book on the rack right now, right? I told y'all that. Now I'm saying, well, on top of, you got the Joshua Williamson Superman run is great. That's like on issue 26 right now. That comic's great. This is another one. Dan Slott's Superman Unlimited. So if you know, you know, you know. And I know some people read comics, some people just watch the movies. I'm just saying, for the comic readers, I ain't trying to shade nobody. But definitely, I recommend that comic wholeheartedly. All right. What else we got? Now I talked about this on my coffee talk, so I'm not going to do a full report here, but I talked the box office just a little bit. Box office battle. Box office battle is not much of a battle. Lilo and Stitch, they kicking the door down with the ski mask on, saying, run that money. They are going to eclipse Minecraft's numbers. Everyone's going crazy over Minecraft. Lilo and Stitch is about to do about 60 million more opening. Likely 190 million opening for the holiday weekend. That does give it a little boost. But even without the boost, Lilo and Stitch was going to do better than Minecraft. Insane, right? As I said again on Coffee Talk, I touch on all the numbers and the budgets and stuff like that. So become a patron, check out that latest episode over there. But I tried to rewatch the 2002 Lilo and Stitch film, and I never really got into that IP, that franchise or whatever. They had a TV show, I think, as well, and a straight to DVD sequel film. Not really for me, right? It may take the kiddos, take the little ones. But hey, numbers don't lie. Men lie, women lie. Numbers don't. These Disney live action remakes are on crack right now. And this may potentially touch 200 million after Memorial Day Monday, holiday Monday, right? So have you Have you seen Lilo and Stitch, or are you planning on seeing Lilo and Stitch? Yeah, that is what it is with that with me. But Mission Impossible, I'm going to see that right after we finish this video here today. We're going to see Mission Impossible. Heard some interesting things about the film. Heard that it's really about 2 or 3 stunts in the film. It's kind of built around those epic stunts in the film. So we'll see how that goes when we check this out later today. Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning on pace for about 70 million for the Memorial Day holiday weekend. If we see the cinema scores, first off, Lilo and Stitch had an A, so it's front loaded and it has good word of mouth. So you weirdos who likes Lilo and Stitch is very annoying in my opinion, but you weirdos who likes that, y'all gave it a good audience score. So that means it's going to get at least 900 million, challenging $1 billion, right? This is the next Minecraft of the year. Disney got it with that, right? So that is what it is. A- for Mission Impossible 8, The Final Reckoning. 70 million is pretty good. And as far as the budget, he shot this in conjunction with the previous one. So the budget kind of lies, but anyway, 70 million is great. Audience or cinema score A-, meaning the bros like it. The problem with Mission Impossible is now a 4-quadrant film. It never was, right? You remember the first Mission Impossible, which is still my favorite. At that time, it's like, okay, Tom Cruise is a hot movie star. Maybe you got some women to see this. I don't know how many women really are checking for, Tom Cruise right now. So this is about the bros and the boomers. Mission Impossible. Good audience score. So I'm going to check it out, and I think it can leg out a little money, with a good opening. Hey, no cap. I know there's fans of Lilo and Stitch, like the numbers are there. I'm just saying, I tried to rewatch the 2002 animated film, and I was like, man, this is weird, bro. Hey, I give my opinion, but the majority numbers show. No disrespect. Absolute Cinema, says Ghostman King. Hey, like I say, hey, they doing it up. The numbers are there. It's going to do great the second week. The word of mouth is there, and the numbers are there. So you're talking about, if this really becomes a phenomenon, then you'll say, okay, it'll have a crazy hold the second weekend. It'll at least hold at least 50%. I don't see this dropping terribly because the A cinema score is there. Much love to Ghostman K. That's all good, man. I'm just saying, it wasn't for me. I know when something's not for me, right? But my marketing and business mind, I recognize when the money is there, right? So shout out to Lilo and Stitch fans. All right, y'all won, okay? And then rounding out the top 3, shout out to Box Office Pro for these numbers. Final Destination, again, these are estimates. So the final numbers, you don't know the final numbers till Monday. People like to declare projected, and Saturdays and Sundays. You got to really wait till Monday for the real numbers anyway. But anyway, Final Destination Bloodlines is the latest Warner Brothers win horror film. I believe it opened. What did it open with? Like a 50 million. So it's going to have a really good hold, 50% or better hold for Final Destination. And a lot of that is around the Tony Todd tribute. Candyman. He's in this film, and this is the last film he did, and he was sick while he was doing this film, and he gave a special message to his fans in this film. That's going to really give this film a good hold and good legs. Final Destination for that genre. So definitely rest in peace, Tony Todd, on that for sure. So that is the box office. Again, my full box office reports mostly will be on my Coffee Talk. So become a Patreon. I talk about the budgets and numbers and all that fun stuff. Yeah. R.I.P. Tony Todd. My thing is like it's really is awesome that the team around Final Destination, they gave him that moment to really say his goodbye in the film. It's crazy. It's crazy. The clips should be out. I should have had that clip ready for y'all. It's out there, but more the reason to see the Final Destination just for Tony Todd, for sure. Like I said, R.I.P. legend. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's one to check out. So, before we get to the Q&A, we got a few more things. Like I said, we give you a full show. I don't know if you're, like I said, I know I haven't been regular, but we gonna make that happen. All we gotta do is keep putting these shows in, and people gonna know Saturday's the day to be here. So it is all good. We got this here. Voltron has wrapped. Henry Cavill's Voltron is what I'm going to refer to this as through Amazon MGM. No clear story on who Henry Cavill's playing, but what I will say, just according to what I heard, and I've been covering the production of this film, I get most of my information when stuff is in production, right? Most people found my channel when Aquaman was in production, and I heard about, Ben Affleck. Black Adam was wrapping up, and I heard, what I'm saying, Henry Cavill and stuff like that. So I've been hearing a lot about this film. No one knows who Henry Cavill's playing. Now, what I did hear was this film is about the kids, right? They make up the Voltron. So I think Henry Cavill will play the main villain. And I think he's going to eat. He was great in Mission Impossible 6. And I think he's going to steal the show in this Voltron, this Amazon film. Now, someone said in the chat it's not going to be in theaters. That's not true. That's not true, actually. And that's why I'm glad I brought this up here. First of all, shout out to Autobot Jazz Band 98. Man. Much love, Cavitron. Okay, we'll give it to him. We'll give it to Henry Cavill, Cavitron. I like that. This film, I think, is going to be great. Now, we got the producer of the production company that owns the rights to Voltron, right? On the right here, as it says, our live action film has officially wrapped production. We're thrilled with how it all went. And he says, I've been with this franchise for years, can probably say that this will be the Voltron experience our fans have been dreaming of. Bro, can't wait. They put some money into this too, is what I'm hearing. So, okay. Now, it says here, there's been some chatter out there about the plans for the film's launch, and we like to assure you, when official plans are set for the film, you'll be the first to hear right here. Stay with us. I promise it'll be worth the wait. Bob, what's his name? Bob Koppler, whatever his name is. He's part of the production team that owns the rights to Voltron. So he has a heavy say, in the film. His production company does. And what I was told, the plan for this film through Amazon MGM is that it's going to get the air treatment, the film from Ben Affleck and Artist Equity. All right. They gave it a theatrical run, and then it went to streaming, or like what they're doing now with The Accountant 2. Theatrical run to streaming. Voltron, I'm told, is going to be, they're going to lean more into possible theatrical. So you're not going to pull it as soon as Air or how The Accountant 2 may run. Because those films are really promoting Amazon. This Voltron film is going to be, let's give it the biggest viewership possible theatrically. And then you go to streaming, but they may leave it in theaters longer. So we'll see when the official word comes out. But I'm being told this is a theatrical film, just like Highlander will be a theatrical film with Amazon MGM and Cavill's team. So I'm looking forward to this film. Voltron. Come on now. Henry Cavill, possibly playing the bad guy. He was a great bad guy in Mission Impossible 6. So yeah, bring it on. Yes. That's the word. That's the word with Voltron. Now, before we get to the Q&As and things with that controversial video, he was amazing. Yeah. No, I was at Mission Impossible 6. I'm gonna say it like this, like my ranking in Mission Impossible films, and this is just on the spot, but nothing has matched the first Mission Impossible to me. That's just me personally. It's just nothing's matched. I just think it was that great. I remember I was in school and I saw these Mission Impossible commercials. That's the one with John Voight, and obviously Tom Cruise is in it. And I was like, it hooked me. That first Mission Impossible film. Mission Impossible 2 was kind of 3 kind of came back to where it needed to be, and 4 and 5 was meh. The Mission Impossible 6 was my second favorite of the franchise. Like I said, Henry Cavill sold that film. It was great. Tom Cruise is great. Obviously he's a great, theater star, Tom Cruise. But that one with Cavill was amazing to me. So the Mission Impossible 1, then it's 6. Then after that, I'll kind of figure out my feelings. I'm going to go watch the new one after we're done streaming here in another hour or so here. So, yeah. Mission Impossible 6 was that good, though. But just nothing matches the first one to me. Nothing matches the first one. We'll be watching Voltron. I can't wait. I can't wait to some official number or official dates on Voltron. They went over, I will say this, just a little tidbit for Voltron. They went over a month in production. I don't know what that means. It's just that they were scheduled to end in April and it went over to May. So I don't know what that means, extra shots or whatever, right? A little extra money. Maybe they're spending on the film. Interesting. Part 1 over 6. Yeah. Like I said, yeah. Mission Impossible 1, I think that's goated. Part 6 with Cavill is amazing just from the entire watch. It's an amazing film. And then he does the turn. He's the bad guy. It was a good film. That was a good film. So that's good stuff. And you don't see his body at the end of part 6, meaning Henry Cavill could return. Those are his boys that's making those films. McQuarrie and the crew and the Top Gun Maverick crew. Cavill could come back. But I got to see this. I don't know if this is all over. I got to see the new film. So we'll see. But Cavill could come back is my point. So before we get to the Q&As, and I'm looking forward to y'all responses to some of the comments and questions that was said about the James Gunn potential copycat for Superman. We'll talk about it. But a big thing of my shows and the core of this channel, I started this channel because of the Snyder Cut, right? What was it, 2020 when I started, after they announced the Snyder Cut was coming out, and then DC Fandom occurred. And I started my platform then. And so the core of my viewers and the audience, the people I've networked with, it started with Snyderverse first. Now, at times, I've diversified the topics and things like that. But on this platform, I always got to mind the core. All right. And that's what we're going to continue to do going forward. There are other things that I'm working on in different platforms, and there's going to be different ways to express, what I want to do. But here on the Saturday show, we're staying with the roots, right? And that's notable DC. That's any Zack Snyder stuff. And anytime Warner Brothers messes up, that always going to be part of these Saturday shows. But also, too, you know, let's say when Zack Snyder does something, there's this show called The Studio on, what was it, Apple TV? I haven't watched it yet, actually, but it was a lot of talk about that there's going to be different cameos, and Zack Snyder had a cameo on there, right? So we got the clip to that, right? So just in case you haven't seen The Studio, we're going to watch it here as from what I call Zack Snyder Theater. Let's throw up the clip of his appearance on The Studio.
Here to present the award for Best Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy is a man who has done neither. Zack Snyder, everybody.
Shout out to Film God.
Now, for any of you who felt like the show's gone by too fast or felt it's not nearly long enough, don't worry, I'll be releasing a 6-hour black and white 4:3 version of the show, Snyder Cut style, on digital download and Blu-ray, $29.99. So look for that.
So Zack instantly comes on and jokes about the Snyder Cut, right? This may be the best cameo ever, if you haven't seen it yet.
All right, let's get to it, shall we? The nominees for Best Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy. Dogs Are People Too?
We don't care about this part. Let's redo the first part when he does his joke.
Here to present the award for Best Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy is a man who has done neither. Zack Snyder, everybody.
Thank you. Now, for any of you who felt like the show's gone by too fast or felt it's not nearly long enough, don't worry, I'll be releasing a 6-hour black and white 4:3 version of the show, Snyder Cut style, on digital download and Blu-ray, $29.99. So look for that.
Hey, Zack's a funny dude, man. Zack's a funny dude. So that was the cameo from The Studio. Again, as I call Zack Snyder Theater. That was crazy, right? Let's run it back one more time. Let's run it back one more time.
Here to present the award for Best Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy is a man who has done neither. Zack Snyder, everybody.
Thank you. Now, for any of you who felt like the show's gone by too fast or felt it's not nearly long enough, don't worry, I'll be releasing a 6-hour black and white 4:3 version of the show, Snyder Cut style, on digital download and Blu-ray, $29.99. So look for that. All right, let's get to it, shall we? The nominees for Best Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy. Dogs Are People Too? Intended Consequences. Whip Smart. Open. And finally, Daylilies. The Golden Globe goes to Sal Saperstein. No! Open! Open! Yeah!
Zack started with the jokes, man. This is who knew, right? We knew Zack Snyder had a sense of humor. Pretty cool cameo. It wasn't a reason for me to get Apple TV, so I'm glad. Though I do gotta say, anyone in the chat, have y'all been catching up with that? Was that Monarch, that MonsterVerse show on Apple TV? I may have to restart it just for that show, because I gotta support the MonsterVerse and what Legendary's doing over there. For sure. You know, I prefer the color version. Black and white has its charm. No, yeah, the Justice is Gray. I mean, that's it. When it first released, like I would watch the color version during the day, and then Justice is Gray at night. I'll watch that at night. So that's kind of like just I pseudo still follow that rule. When I want to watch the Snyder Cut, I'm like, okay, is it daytime? Okay, I'll put the color version. At nighttime, Justice is Gray, right? So that is what it is, right? Little Zack Snyder Theater. Been a kaiju fan since 7 years old. Yeah, I may have to restart my Apple TV. Because I wanna stay up to date with this MonsterVerse stuff. They got some good stuff over there with that. So good stuff. And just for the heck of it, it was another clip going around. It's an older thing that Zack Snyder did, but when he did the Teen Titans Go show, which is probably the greatest episode of that show's existence. I think it was the 100th episode they brought Zack Snyder on. So, like, effort for Zack Snyder Theater for the Saturday show. Let's just throw this clip up here. Yeah, you gotta watch it at night.
Where did the rain come from?
Who cares? The rain makes this battle look way more epic.
This wasn't fair when this came out, right? It wasn't fair. Like, this is the greatest Teen Titans Go episode ever. Zack Snyder's Titans? Are we serious out here? Right? Let's run this back again. It's Zack Snyder Theater, Sylabdul Podcast Saturdays. Let's go.
Let's go wild on these fools!
Titans, go!
Where did the rain come from?
Who cares? The rain makes this battle look way more epic.
Well, this ain't fair, right? It ruined the show forever. This ain't fair.
Tell me, Darkseid, do you bruise easily?
Robin, wake up, Robin. Wake up. I'm done. I'm done with the Snyder Cut.
I was just dreaming about that.
Well, you're not dreaming anymore. In fact, I gave you all Snyder Cuts.
What? No, we didn't want your hair cut. We wanted you to direct our 365th episode.
360. It was a 360. I said 100th episode. Yeah, 365. Okay.
See, but it's already over.
Can you not fix it in the post of the production?
And shout out to Jay Oliva as well. He played a big part in this too.
Sorry, Titans. Truth is, it's just not salvageable.
Ah.
Good stuff. Little Zack Snyder Theater for y'all for the Saturday audience. And I saw that clip going around because I had the studio clip, and then I started seeing that Titans clip recirculating. I was like, okay, let's just watch it. Let's just watch it together. So now let's get to the main thing that we did this video for. It was for the Q&A of the notorious video, State of the Phantom, the latest one, featuring Jules. Had a lot of people talking, and that's what we're going to talk about. Y'all responses as well. This is the Q&A section. Let's go.
Questions from viewers with sylabdul.
Yeah. This is the Q&A. We got to get rid of the Titans. Hold on. Get rid of that. There we go. Here we go, Carlos. Interesting commentary. Now, as I always say, when we do these Q&As, when I pull up your comments, it's not to pick on the person that's commenting, or I'm not trying to one up you or anything like that. I appreciate you. You help this channel by commenting and giving your opinion. So I want to make that very clear. Even if I don't agree with every comment, we're going to talk about it. Now, we got Douglas here again. Shout out to you, Douglas. I don't see you on a live show, so good that you're catching the replay. I'm going to kind of set up some of these comments because in the video, and I encourage you to watch the latest State of the Fandom with Jules. If you remember her from the Wednesday crew, she doesn't, she's not really looking forward to this Gunn DCU. She rather Zack finish his story. And so there's this feeling that a lot of people have, it's a good segment of people, DC fans that, just are not with this reboot. And, they can have a voice as well. It's all good. Just like people who are looking forward to this DCU, you have a voice. Those who more like me and more people that's kind of finding my platforms is that I have an open mind, but I do reserve my right to criticize when needed. I enjoyed previous iterations of all these characters. So obviously, if it's a new iteration, I'm going to see what it has first, and then I'll comment further. So that's kind of where I lay. So we, in a sense, had two different views on DC, right? And I welcome, I always welcome Jules. She's a good friend of mine. And so I respect her opinions on everything. But so she made an interesting comment about crypto in the video. And I said this in the video. She was like, she's a dog lover. And then, dogs have been in my family as well, too. But she was like, crypto is so much CGI. It's like you don't see the expression in his eyes. And I was like, I never thought about that, right? I never really thought that deeply about, how crypto looked. I thought it looked presentable, and I was good with it, right? So that was a really interesting comment she said in the video. And so that's where this comment's coming from. It says, crypto looks good how a dog should look. Kaiju looks nothing like Doomsday in Batman vs. Superman. Doomsday in BVS did not look that good. It looked all right. How about waiting until the movie's actually out? Sounds like you already decided what you think of the movie. So this is the thing here. First, okay. So that triggers some people. This was in the video, the Dairy Queen. My thing is great if you got the Dairy Queen franchise. I just think you should get something else on top of that. All right. It's not like, oh, F Dairy Queen. Like, no, I'm going to be there. What is this? I guess starting Monday, you got the Superman Blizzard, the cake batter Blizzard Superman at Dairy Queen. I'm going to be there for that. We're going to do a live review of that. So let's kind of break down what they're saying here. Now, okay, people asking about the lawsuit. This happens every time Superman film comes out. There's a lawsuit. They just had a lawsuit that was dismissed. This new lawsuit is going to either be dismissed, just like this lawsuit was prior to this, just like the lawsuit in 2013, Man of Steel. The Schuster estate, unfortunately, they look for these moments they tried to block the Snyder cut. Do people know that? Right? So this lawsuit will be dismissed or settled just like the others. So I didn't give this previous lawsuit much airtime because this happens every time some live action project that has Superman in it, this happens every time. All right. So it didn't happen for Black Adam because he was in the post credit. So Cavill wasn't technically credited for Black Adam, but he was paid for it. But anyway, yeah, that is what it is. No Dairy Queen in your area. Blizzards are delicious. I say, hey, we're going to do a live Superman cake batter blizzard review Memorial Day week. It's supposed to drop next, I think Monday it's supposed to drop. So yeah. So they're not going to block the film. They never are able to block any Superman films, and this won't happen now. So people thought that previous lawsuit had some legs. That was more like wishful thinking. They do this every time. So yeah. Moving on here. So Douglas, and like I said, I'm not trying to pick on Douglas when I say this, but that when you make the comment, how about waiting until the movie actually comes out? But then you have your strong opinion that Crypto looked as good as how a dog should look, and the kaiju looks better than Doomsday. But that's your thoughts, Douglas. But then you're saying, how about y'all wait till the film comes out? No, how about you, Douglas, wait till the film comes out, and then we will see how Crypto holds up. I think, and I'm on record saying I think Crypto actually looks fine, and I'm a fan of the kaiju. You know what I'm saying? So that is what it is. JG says the lawsuit does have legs. Yeah, that's what the previous lawsuit was as well too. So yeah, believe me, this happens every time. Again, they thought they had legs to block the Snyder cut, but people want to be so biased about it. You don't realize this happens every time a live action project with Superman comes out. The Schuster estate always tries. Yes, they tried to block Man of Steel, Superman Returns. They tried to block the Snyder cut as well. That's what I'm saying. I said that clearly. So yeah, no, this is going to be either dismissed or settled as usual. Right? Schuster did it twice though. No, they did it more than twice. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm not going to keep repeating myself. Like I say it every project, right? So it's going to be dismissed or settled like it normally is. All right. So yeah. So as far as with Douglas, yeah. You have to wait till this film comes out to fully judge it as well. So you can't say it. You can't say your thoughts, your opinions, and think that's supposed to hold, but everyone else has to wait. Like just because you say so. You have to wait as well too. So that's my thoughts with that. We're still talking about Schuster in the chat. What do we like? What haven't we seen? Every live action project with Superman. Yeah, no, it's going to be settled or dismissed. I mean, you want the Superman film to be blocked, right? So that's like confirmation bias. That's what that is. With that, Warner Bros. Is going to settle or it's going to be dismissed. So it's really a non-story. It really is, just like the previous lawsuit was a couple months ago. You know. So yeah. So if they settle, then what's the film's going to come out, right? Like what? The film's coming out, y'all. Okay, like let me break it there. When this Superman film's coming out, Warner Bros. Discovery has a lot invested in this Superman film, and they need it to look like a success. So if they have to settle, they didn't settle the previous one a couple months ago. It was thrown out, the suit. If they have to settle this, they will settle it because they want to win that headline. This film's coming out. Okay. That's just what's going to happen. We got the comment here. The title of the video was James Gunn redoing the BVS storyline. So Billy says here, James Gunn's not trying to out Zack Snyder. He's doing his own Superman. Well, Billy, I mean, I ain't trying to pick on you here, Billy Moore, but in the video, we detailed pretty clearly the parallels that we saw in Man of Steel and BVS to what we've been shown in just a trailer of Superman. I think it's very clear what James Gunn is doing is the same vein. As I said in the video, Matt Reeves said, I want to out Nolan. I want to take his grounded approach, and I think I can do it better in some angles. Now, to be fair, no. Reeves didn't out Nolan, but Reeves has set up a really good crime saga world. I gave him that credit. His fans stopped attacking me recently. We're good. I'm good with Reeves. And that may be this type of DC, those that's parading around the James Gunn film, wanting James Gunn to fail. Maybe the DC you like is what Reeves is about to do, right? And that may be more of your lane as far as with DC. Let's see. JC said it has nothing to do with domestically. No one's arguing what it has to do with domestically or overseas. Yeah, the previous lawsuit was overseas as well, and that was thrown out. Don't speak too fast. The Reeves fans, I think we've made up because the Penguin series, I thought, was pure DC, great streaming show. HBO Max, is making its revival as well. The Batman was long and boring. I fell asleep. I have a notoriously infamous video, my review of Matt Reeves' Batman. I fell asleep in the theater. All right. It's not a good Batman film, but as a crime saga, a part of his story, it's actually a good film. Matt Reeves' Batman is actually a good film, but it's a bad Batman film. It's not a good Batman film, if that makes sense. In real time, I wasn't feeling it. Wasn't feeling it. That is what it is. But as far as what James Gunn is doing, come on now. In fact, you know what? No, I'm about to bring up the video because it's like to make this comment, Billy, and it's not to make fun of you. It's not to. I'm not trying to make you feel bad bringing this up, but you ignore everything we said in the video. So I'm gonna bring that clip back up. Hold on. Let me get to the video. We're failing out here. Because I thought it was articulated very clearly what are the similarities. So it kind of does it injustice if you say, oh, no, he's not, just because you say so. Oh, he's not trying to copy Snyder. We detailed exactly what he was copying. So I'm going to bring that up here. All right, let's pull up this screen. Yeah, it's like, and Carlos, you know me, like I like to, let's keep this conversation realistic as possible. Like, just like people try to make different claims, like I'm not just going to let that slide just because you decide to say and ignore the evidence. Oh, he's not trying to out Snyder. He's doing similar storyline. Again, just like Reeves tried to. Now, if you're going to execute it, that's the thing. Like you got David in the chat. He's not copying Zack. Okay, let me play this for you. I see people don't like evidence. I forgot that. I forgot that factor. Let's play this. I got too much on my screen. All right. Let's pull up the State of the Defender video as a reference. I guess we'll blow it up. They got a lot of people talking. Is Gunn using some similar story elements from BVS, right? And
how can we forget?
And I find it interesting. Now, I did my whole breakdown on my Superman channel. I kind of talked about my thoughts, but I want to get Jules' thoughts on this. That it comes down to that question: should Superman intervene across borders? We know BVS started where when Superman goes to save Lois from a foreign country, and then it's put on trial. Basically, must there be a super? Okay, so. See, this is the thing, David. You contradict yourself in the chat. Like that's the crazy thing. He's not copying Zack. Then David, then you go and say, Quest for Peace had the same Superman versus politics. No, that was about American politics, right, David? The I just said in this video, going to a foreign country. So we gotta get rid of this whole thing. Just because I choose to ignore evidence, then I'm right. No, that makes you ignorant. Respectfully, you're ignorant to the conversation. If you're saying that that this is not copying Zack Snyder going to a foreign land, then you say Superman Quest for Peace is about American politics. BVS is about foreign politics. So you know what I'm saying? You can't just say that. Okay, now you're just jumping all over the place. So yeah, so now I'm just gonna ignore what you say now because you're ignoring evidence. And that's a pet peeve of mine, David. I'm not trying to get on you in the chat here, but don't. It's very clear what we're saying is being copied. So don't just jump around and say just because you say so, you don't agree. This is the evidence, right? Let's continue. Be a Superman, right? Which one of the most awesome montages in BVS. And then you're seeing how it's affecting Clark. You're seeing how people are covering him and he's just like, man, like, you know, he calls his mom like, man, what am I supposed to do here? You know, and I thought that was very effective in BVS.
It was.
Now, one thing in that film, and this is what I'm going to ask you. Zack Snyder, you had Chris Terrio on the script for BVS. They presented that question, must there be a Superman? So Gunn is trying to present this question as well. Now, just what do you think of that? That Gunn is kind of treading the same question. I can't say, like, English is my first language, so I don't know if some people in the chat, if English is, I can't say that more clearly than I just did right there. As far as what James Gunn is attempting, like, it's almost like some of y'all rather James Gunn copy someone else other than Zack Snyder. Like, that's like a loss to y'all that he is copying Zack Snyder's story premise. It happens all the time, but let's not be naive here, right? Now, as I said, he presents that question, and then later in the video, I say I think James Gunn is saying, let's retread this scenario, and then I can actually show you the answer. And I'll kind of play her part in a moment here too, because I was so surprised people was confused by this. I'm like, we said it plain English in the video. Let's see. Disarm all nuclear power countries in the quest for peace, not just America. So again, Superman intervening and being arrested and showing the whole foreign land concept. That was in BVS, right? That's my point. So y'all rather James Gunn copy who directed? Lester didn't do Superman 4, did he? Who did Superman 4? The Quest for Peace. I think Lester was done with them at that point, wasn't they? So who directed that? Sidney J. Furie. You rather James Gunn copy Sidney J. Furie than Zack Snyder. Like, that's what. So this is apples and oranges thing. James Gunn, the most recent vision we saw with Superman entering a foreign country, intervening and it being questioned, was in BVS. And there's more too, but we'll talk about that. But I'm just saying, that's the premise. Y'all want to go back to Quest for Peace for what? To be like, oh, well, Zack copied her. Okay. Like, is that some kind of win? Oh, Zack was influenced by other people as well. So Gunn came back after Zack and copied what Zack copied. So what's your point? You know what I'm saying? Oh, no, you good, Steven. You good. It's just this whole thing. Oh, well, Zack copied so-and-so. Okay, why did Gunn copy Zack, who copied so-and-so then? Like, that's an open question. if that's the angle you want to take, why? That's like a insignificant point. If Zack, obviously, you can't make too original of a Superman story. Zack was very influenced by New 52 and Superman Earth 1 comic books. And Dark Side Wars, if we would have saw the 5-part arc. So everyone's influenced by someone. You come after Zack and copy, I guess, what he copied, then what? We're back to the original thing that James Gunn is using the same story beats that Zack Snyder just did. So let's continue because this is good. Let's let this play out so people get the full when we say he's copying. And this isn't saying, like, everyone copies, everyone borrows. I borrow a lot of my concepts on my shows from other YouTubers, right? Some of the greatest YouTubers out there have, in a sense, mentored me, to make my show what it is. So we all copy, from someone. The great comic historian, Benny, I got pointers from him a couple years ago about how to do my show. You see what I'm saying? So everyone's going to, be influenced by someone. But when we point it out, it's not like, no, he's not influenced by him. No, he is. He is. And it's okay. All right, let's continue. Question.
I think this whole thing is just lazy writing. This is more of, I'm going to take your plot, but I think I can do it better, so I'm going to do it in my way. I don't care that it came out less than 10 years ago. I'm still going to do it. There's way too many similarities, and I've had interactions on Twitter about this, saying, well, this is a common storyline within Superman comics. There are Superman comics that you can go back to for 100 years. You cannot tell me that for over 100 years, every single Superman comic that has ever existed started with him having problems with the government. It's actually the opposite, okay? There are many different avenues that they could have taken with this movie. They didn't have to decide to go political with it like Chris Terrio and Zack Snyder did. Like, you are trying to move away from the Snyderverse, right? Because it was so awful. Then do something different. Show us what is the proper way to build out this universe. This just screams copycat to me.
It's interesting that. So again, that was Jules' take as far as the copyright, and now again, I'm my side because again, as much as me and Jules are cool, and we're going to do several more videos together. We got more segments we're going to do. In this entire video, I'm showing that I'm saying, hey, yes, Gunn is probably copying, but there's an artistic way to do that. So let's see what he does. Her stance is that no, like, that's just completely lazy, and she, she can have her opinion on that, right? And that's what she expressed. But let's not just totally dismiss that he's not gonna. That's why I don't like when we just try to turn a blind eye. and actually, I'll let this go further because we again explain clearly what's being copied. This is like you said, this is the storyline that Gunn lands on. When again, the whole point of the reboot is to differentiate yourself. And
right.
Again, I'm understanding the business behind. Hey, you want to do something new. Again, I don't agree that you want to get rid of Cavill. Right. I think you pencil in $1 billion if you have a Cavill Superman film coming out right now. But I digress on that.
They don't care about data and analog.
Right, you chose a reboot, so it would have been best to go a different direction because I do think Gunn, and I know that I can't wait for the comments when I say this, but I do think Gunn this may be some kind of homage to Zack Snyder. Now,
or he'll try to frame it in that way.
Right. Now, so certain viewers will take that and be like, you take that homage and shove it, right? But I think that's what good. I think he's like, and I put it in this vein. When Matt Reeves was doing his Batman, he was like, oh, I want to kind of honor what Nolan did.
Obviously.
It was taken as, I want to out Nolan. Is Gunn trying to out Snyder? I'm not trying to say that, but I'm just saying he's taking that story beat, and I think he thinks he can do it better. I'm just gonna say it. I think Gunn is saying I could. Yeah.
If we go back to Man of Steel, so the way that movie came about, or the script came about, was what's his name? The writer for the script. He did Batman also with Nolan.
Goyer.
Goyer, yeah, David Goyer. He literally came out and he said one day he was just watching the Christopher Reeve Superman movie, and he thought to himself, "I can write a movie like this and make it better," and that's what he did with Man of Steel.
See, this was a great point with you, because I understand we come into these conversations with our biasness. This was a great point that Jules just made right there, is that it happens all the time. But see, then she does go on her bias, and she's like, well, I don't like Gunn, but Goyer did that prior to Gunn, and many have done that, outside of those two as well too, right? So this isn't something new under the sun. Let's see. Dave said this isn't a plot of the movie. It's just the beginning of the movie. No, this line runs through, David. This line runs through the entire film about this foreign country, David. So I mean, again, I don't know your sources on that, but I mean, I talked to people that saw different cuts of this film. This point of Superman intervening, that runs through the entire film, and it actually runs into the resolution when people are mad at Superman. And I mean, I don't want to, again, this ain't about spoiling anything, but it's like, at the end of the day, the public are going to like Superman because of something he does pertaining to this foreign country. It is, David. I don't know what you're talking about at this point now. Okay. This is a story beat throughout the entire film. So yeah, that is what it is.
I truly believe, and that's what it seems like, Gunn went back and watched the Snyderverse films and used that as inspiration for his writing and made it in his own way, in his own vision, right? It's so obvious. Metamorpho, I think that's the name of the character.
Yeah, Metamorpho.
Yeah. You can't tell me that's not Feora. Look at her. She's wearing all black.
Oh, you're talking about engineer. You're talking about the lady on the screen. Yeah, the engineer.
She has the similar and feel, right? Then you have Ultraman, that's probably like a Zod character. The army guy over.
And I'm gonna stop it here again. Go check out that whole video, the State of Fandom. That's what got all these comments. But I just wanted to play that part out, because when people say, "Oh no, where are the similarities?" We just named several, up to the point where Man of Steel, you had Feora and the big Kryptonian guy fighting Superman. You literally have this aesthetic in James Gunn's Superman. So I rest my case on similarities. That doesn't mean it's a good or bad thing either. People get so triggered, and emotional about it. If it's similar, it's similar. Okay. I don't know how it affects people's lives to point out similarities. And David, I don't think that's delusional at all. You're delusional because we just laid several points that's similar. You're delusional. To the point where in Man of Steel, he's fighting Feora and the Kryptonian. How do we not see that similarity? But what you are in the chat, David, you're taking it personal because, obviously you're a James Gunn fan. I don't care if you say you're not. Yeah, name Namek. Yeah, the big guy. Gunn is doing his own version of it. What I say, I guess I gotta play the rest of the video, because for people like David, you probably didn't watch the video. You're just commenting ignorantly on something you didn't even watch. You're obviously a Gunn fan. I don't care what you said. Let's play the rest of this.
Guy over here, Frank Grillo's character, he's basically the military guy that the guy from Law and Order, I can't remember his name, he played in Man of Steel. Like, you do a lot of similarities here. him getting arrested with the soldiers, escorting him into the interrogation hall. There's just way too many synchronicities to be a coincidence, right? Like,
that's interesting. That's interesting you just said that. 'Cause I didn't even think of that until you said that. In Man
even
of
Ultraman's
Steel,
suit, right? Like the U is silver, like Zod's emblem on his suit.
in Man of Steel, one of the best action sequences when Superman's fighting the two Kryptonians,
Yeah.
Feora and that. I'm
That
thinking
big
of the
guy.
other big guy.
The big
Yeah. I know you're saying like Zod. I
Oh
can
yeah, it
get
could
what you're
even
saying
be the
with
big
that.
guy too. Yeah, either one.
Right. As soon as you said that, I'm like, wait a minute. And so I really believe, and again, people they're going to take this and go whatever direction you want to go with this, but I think just like Reeves was trying to homage Nolan, but actually try to outdo him. You talked about Goyer again as a writer, saying I can do a better version of Donner.
Right.
I think James Gunn was watching Man of Steel, BVS, Snyder Cut, and saying, hold up. Fernando, who's comparing Metamorpho to the female Kryptonian, bro? Come on now. Come on. No, that's not even a comparison. No one even mentioned Metamorpho. Oh, all right, continue. Saying I can do, yeah, Zack's. I'm a friend. Zack's my friend. I think I could do a story better. I think that's what he's saying.
Yeah, it's quite obvious.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with that because it's too many elements that lines up to what came.
There really are.
Before.
We didn't have to see
Superman
getting arrested again. We didn't have to see such a military presence again. They could have gone any other direction. There's so many stories to choose from, but this is what they landed on.
The aesthetics of it, because when you said Feora, that kind of blew my mind for a second.
Even down to the haircut, the short hair. That you see her face, that you see her emotions,
and they're wearing black,
all black.
Oh yeah, no, Fernando, no, not Metamorpho, no. As you said, Feora and the Engineer obviously has the same aesthetics. A female, kick-ass female, superpowered, like Engineer is basically Feora, like in this film. Compared to the Engineer, that's not delusional. Again, David, I think you're delusional, just to be quite honest with you. I think you've made a lot of delusional comments in the chat already. So yeah, I'm just going to kind of label you that, and then anything you say is going to kind of be skewed by that, right? Just let you know in advance. So I think, like I said, down to, like I said, just the aesthetics, and you watch Man of Steel and see Superman fighting these two, and then the James Gunn. Again, I don't know why this triggers people, but people, in entertainment and art, there's a lot of imitation. Yeah, this dude, I don't know what this dude's saying anymore in the chat. Like, you're arguing with yourself now. Like, if you read your comments in succession, you're arguing against yourself in the chat. We're just going to continue. We're going to let you circle jerk yourself. It is like, like good. It was really like, hey, like I said, Man of Steel is the most successful Superman film ever. So I don't blame anyone saying, "Oh, I want to be inspired by it." So we know Gunn's inspired.
What's the old saying? Imitation is the
greatest form of flattery. Yeah, exactly. And so James Gunn is trying to out Snyder. Now that's not going to work. Out Snyder and Snyder.
He's not talented enough for that. Yeah, that's not happening.
Zack Snyder is the blueprint, though. Christopher Nolan told us this, but
another version. This is another copy of his blueprint being taken.
Yeah. So it's like, and again, I'm just going to say, I'm not going to speak for Jules when I say this, but what I'm saying is, I don't mind the imitation part of it, like trying to homage Zack Snyder. That's great, but you're trying to take story elements that Zack did before, and you're this is just what it appears that you're trying to say that you can do the story better. And hey, knock yourself out. We're gonna see the execution in a couple months here, and that's the point right there. If you don't see the similarities, I gotta check your eyes. I gotta check your cognitive development. If you don't see a, because that's not a diss. saying that something is similar. Now you're taking, again, Jules obviously is totally against the Superman film, so you're taking it like, oh, I can't let her have a point. Right? I'm not talking to Carlos. Shout out to Carlos. That's what some people are saying, but she made some, I think, some really good points in that video, and just everyone's biasness is up in arms, in my opinion, with that. Yeah, Zack C's still amazing, man. Zack haters, they go so far to like pretend they like Zack, and I'm a fan, and I just want to talk about movies and things like that. And it comes around that they're just trying to do this undercover crap that looks clearly desperate. So in David in the chat, because I'm gonna block you if you just want to troll. Okay, David in the chat. So in the film, does the engineer fight Superman or not? Just answer that question, David. Just answer that question in the chat, because you're just babbling, not making any point, not following any points that's been presented to you. Does engineer fight Superman in the James Gunn film or not? Yes or no? I'll make it even simple for you. Like, there's two answers to this, and they're one-word answers, and your answer is going to determine how this is going to go. No. So, engineer fights Superman. So you're going like I'm supposed to care about your exposition. And actually, you know what, David, in the chat, I'll let this slide. If this is a Superman channel, I don't want any spoilers. But don't be an a-hole and try to spoil just because you read something online. Okay. The engineer fights Superman, and she resembles Feora in Man of Steel. That's the point. That's the point. If you haven't grasped that, then obviously we know why you're here. Okay. Let's continue, because, like I said, we don't do these circle jerk conversations when what's understood doesn't need to be explained, right? But you need more explanation for some reason. You know, you may be in these comments. Let me see. I may have David in these comments because of the type of. Let's see here. Harbinger says it's ridiculous that grown A men are crying over a trailer. Nothing emotional about this. Mufasa's death in Lion King had more emotion than anything in this trailer. Pa Kent hug looked forced and awkward, like he didn't know how to act in that scene from Corn Sweat. I'm gonna push back here because just based on the feedback that I get, that this film, this Superman film, this version of Superman, this Silver Age / All-Star Superman, which is Elseworld type stuff in this film, is resonating with an audience. It really is. Like, we gotta step out of our circles, like how David's in his circle. We gotta step out of our circles and realize the other conversations out there, and that this Superman is resonating. So I gotta push back on saying, why are people, crying or being emotional? Because this is the type of Superman some people want, right? I'm gonna see if it lands with me, but this type of Superman people want. Let's see, Ricky, I don't see an issue. And that's what I just said in the video, Ricky. I just played my clip where I said, everyone imitates everyone. That's the point. Now, will Gunn one up? We got to see the execution, right? That's my point. It's like selective hearing out there. Amazing. But that is what it is. Overall, with that, let's see. It was people get triggered because when Zack did it, he was ridiculed. But when James Gunn does it, it's okay. Double standard. No, for sure. And that's what we're seeing in the chat. Marquea Rose. We're seeing where people are like, well, Zack imitated so-and-so. Okay, but Gunn's imitating Zack. And as I played in my video, I said, it's okay. You just got to execute. I don't think I got to keep repeating that, right? It just, if you see the similarities, I think everyone is right to point out the similarities because it's supposed to be a reboot. But if Gunn actually cooks, and we won't know till we see the film, I can't base it off people that I know that's seen a cut of this film. I can't base my feelings off that. I gotta see it for myself. And we all do. But if we can have the common ground that, yeah, Gunn is reusing story elements that Zack Snyder just did, then let's just stand on that. Oh, is this the same one I had before? Let's see. Let's go here. All right, this next one here. Says the more I see of this flick with the people railing against Superman, throwing cans at him, battling monsters with massive destruction, him all frustrated, it's definitely giving Man of Steel BVS. And that's the whole point. All I'm saying is like, don't get so upset, that, hey, Gunn was inspired. Okay. He may end up doing his own thing, and that's okay as well. I'm not here to make peace between the two sides here. I'm just saying, when someone says there's similarities there and you just blindly dismiss it, now I'm sorry, you're being biased, and that's cognitive dissonance where everything needs to fit your worldview. You don't accept even true evidence because you just want to be right. You just want to feel that you're right in your worldview. I'm just here to say, hey, I'm looking at both sides of this. I love the Snyderverse. I liked what Nolan did. I like what Burton did. That's the type of DC that I like, that those guys did. Gunn's doing something different, or he's claiming. Let's see what he got. Oh, this looks a little similar. This is an observation. Hold on, I just jumped. It was a comment I wanted to have. Right here. If Gunn pulls it off and has enough original elements, that's the point. But it's just people get so triggered that they want to pretend Gunn wasn't influenced by anything. Gunn said it himself. He's a fan of Zack Snyder. Let me just kind of break this to people. James Gunn is a fan of Zack Snyder. So much of a fan, he wanted to write one of Zack Snyder's films, Dawn of the Dead, but they had to recut it. And they've been actually cool since then. Yeah, they did that recent picture together. I believe Gunn's going to have Zack Snyder do something Elseworld for DC. I'm not going to get into that right now. So Gunn is actually a fan of Zack Snyder, and that's okay. It's these Gunn glazers that gets triggered when you point out similarities. Just saying. See, this dude talking about BVS. We know one's talking about BVS right now. no one's talking about BVS. That's how I know. That's how I know you're not really a Snyder fan. You're not on code at all, David. I'm just saying. I don't know if you realize you off code totally. Hey, I like Snyder film. I'm not a fan of Gunn. Yeah, you talk just like the Glazers. Come on, man. You kill me with that. But yeah, again, similarities. This is a very level-headed comment, and I appreciate it. This one here. Let's go to the next one here. We got a couple more. We got about 20 more minutes. I got a couple more comments to highlight. I'm just saying that they give themselves away so easily. I tried to stop you like 15 minutes ago, David. You messed up your whole cover. That come back with a new burner next video. All right, I'm here every Saturday, unless something comes up. You can't be in here pretending, bro. His favorite Batman is probably Keaton, who murders everyone. He snickers and laughs when he murders. But no, when Snyder does it and Ben Affleck does it, now it's a problem. Come on now. Crazy. Now, this one here, this was a comment I got really multiple times under this video. And I do want to address this on this show here. So it says here, Syl let Jules off the hook on a lot of her takes. I have liked to see him pressed for some elaboration on the criticisms. My show, this wasn't a debate show, right? This was me talking to my friend about DC stuff, right? And I'm more optimistic than Jules is. I think that's been pretty clear, our interactions for the past couple of years. So I know what angle she's going to come with. And I believe in the video, and some people actually point this out in the comment section, that I did actually correct stuff when I needed to. But if she has her opinion, I'm not here to correct opinions. My platform is you can come and have your opinion. Now, if it's not factual, then yeah, I have no problem correcting you, whether friend or whoever. But if you just say, hey, I don't like James Gunn, I don't need to correct that. What I mean? If that's how she feels, that's not for me to convince her otherwise, right? She talked about the kaiju. I said, I like the kaiju. And I thought Crypto looked fine, but she said he looks soulless. I was like, that's an interesting point. I never thought about that, right? But I think Crypto looks fine. I think Superman's suit looks fine because they did do work in post like I knew they were going to do. So I'm actually fine with the aesthetics. I'm going to break down more as far as, this whole comparison with the Flash. I'm going to do that on my Superman channel because that's going to be a larger conversation. But overall, just as general as possible, I think the film looks fine. It's just about, will the Gunnisms, will the Gunn jokes take me out of the film? And that's how I approach every James Gunn film. You see? So this just happens to be Superman this time. So it's just like the Guardians films, just like, stuff he's done before. The Suicide Squad, it took me out of the film. We'll see what happens with Superman, right? So yeah, like I said, anyone, and this is anyone that comes on my channel, and they know this when I reach out to them or we talk or we interacted. I'm not here to police your opinions. But in the video, if something was not factual, then I'm obligated to, yes, correct that. But if they have an opinion and it's just a different point of view, I'm not here to correct that. I'm not here to correct you. But if you say something that's false, then yeah, then I'm obligated to speak up. So hopefully that's clear. Jules is going to be on this platform several more times. And this is not for us to debate. You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't a debate show. It could turn into one, like I said, if I feel someone's being not factual. But I think Jules was in her right to express her opinion. It's very clear she's not pulling for this film, and that's fine. She's not excluded from conversations with me because I know she's biased. So I appreciate it. Like I said, her points. And what I disagreed with, I think I've made it very clear in the video. I think we had a really good conversation overall. So that's that. JC says it. Do you see that comic book cover? Yeah, I got that comic. My local comic shop made sure I bought that. And I think it's gonna be a collector's. I'm just saying, like I got it. I got the regular cover, and I got like a variant. I got the James Gunn cover. It's incredibly narcissistic. When have you seen Burton, Nolan, and Snyder on a comic cover promoting this stuff? So this is what I'm gonna say, because what I feel with the Superman film, JC, is that with it being a reboot, like if this was a Henry Cavill Superman film, easy, just sell Cavill, right? This is just my marketing brain, right? This is what I do every day with marketing. So if I'm marketing a Henry Cavill Superman film, just sell Cavill. Great. If I'm marketing a David Cornsweet Superman film, who's the director? James Gunn. Okay, James Gunn, they think is a superstar director. So you actually do have to market Gunn with this to sell the film, right? Now, then it comes out to the personal feelings. You don't want to see Gunn's mug everywhere, but that's how they have to sell this film, actually, for it to have any foothold, any conversation, possible water cooler talk. James Gunn is the draw, and he's doing Superman, right? That's the angle. It would have been totally different. Like, again, if you had Cavill and he's getting 10 to 20 million to do the film, easy, sell Cavill. Everyone knows Cavill internationally. No one knows Cornsweet out of the indie film circuit. So you have to sell James Gunn. And again, and I said this in that video where Jules was like, this is something I push back on her in the video. See, people hear what they want. I'm not talking about you, JC, but people hear what they want in these videos. Where Jules said, "Oh, Gunn is doing a self-insertion." I was like, "Well, Gunn's the writer, so every writer does self-insertions. So I can't really hold that against Gunn. Like, you're the writer, you're putting your story into this. You know what I mean? So that's that's my point with that. I get why you're putting Gunn. He's the most popular person attached to this film, right? So that's just marketing 101. Now, will that land with you personally? That is the question. Let's see here. We got, let me see, about 15 more minutes. Go ahead and start putting your last comments and questions in the chat, because I'm going to wrap this up. I said in about 10 to 15 minutes. I got a couple more comments I want to highlight before we close too. Matt Reeves' Batman was a ripoff of Dark Knight, Riddler copying the Joker plan. Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole out Nolan. Like on my channel, that was like a whole concept that we talked about. Every time we brought up Matt Reeves' Batman before it came out, it was this whole out Nolan. And we saw the film. He didn't out Nolan, but it's not a good Batman film, but it ended up being, again, a good crime saga chapter. Like I'm actually not mad at what Reeves ended up doing. It's just not a good Batman film to me. That's just my personal feelings on it. So everyone imitates. Everyone tries to imitate. That shows you have no faith in Superman, though. Shouldn't Superman be the star? Well, I get your point. I get your point, JC, and I'm not even combating what you're saying. I'm just saying I understand from a marketing standpoint. Yeah, you're selling Superman, but then is that enough of a draw? You do want to, okay, we got this quote unquote superstar director, so let's push Gunn out there. That's what I'm saying. Superman's the star, but James Gunn has name recognition, and you got to use it. If I'm selling a product and I got James Gunn on board, I'm gonna say, "Oh, the director of Guardians of the Galaxy," because this just worked a couple years ago. He got over about 900 million or close to it with Guardians 3. I'm gonna milk that, right? I mean, that's just my marketing brain. Superman has the brand recognition, but is it enough? You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. Yeah, crypto is testing really well. I get marketing and polling information all the time, and crypto has been scoring high since this past December with dog lovers, specifically women and children. I know everyone can be dog lovers, but I'm just saying, just what the numbers are saying, the demographics. Crypto is working, and they keep putting them in every trailer. You saw all the crypto scenes except one in the marketing. You saw all the crypto scenes already, except one pivotal moment. Yeah. So they're definitely selling crypto. Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, that movie's outside of MCU that don't draw people. It's the characters they portray. And maybe, and JC, maybe you're commenting towards other people too, because I get your point, JC. I totally get your point. Again, it's about selling this product. So you got to shoot all your bullets with this. Yes, Superman is a star, but oh snap, we got James Gunn, and there's some general audience people that they know James Gunn from his Guardian stuff. You see my point right there. So will it work? I think that's going to be the question, JC. The why are they using James Gunn? I think it's clear, the name recognition. Will it work? We're going to find out in July, right? We're going to find out why people will show up for the film or not show up for the film. So will Gunn succeed to out Snyder's? Like, no. Just like Reeves, no. This imitating Zack stuff, that's not going to work. If Superman works, it's going to work because there's going to be this new audience. This is what I feel. I feel, the DC fandom is fractious, as Gunn said, and this film is not trying to convert people. They're trying to say, okay, we're going to throw this out there, and whoever flocks to it is going to support it. So it's not going to be about out Snyder and Snyder. It's going to be, are you going to get the general audience with this film and really create a new DC fan base? That's really, I'll go further into this in the future, but it's just like, Gunn is not trying to win anyone over. He's just trying to draw whoever will be drawn to this film. And the numbers will show, an audience or lack thereof. Jurassic is going to do $1 billion. Oh yeah, I agree. There's a new audience. Oh, let's go to Mem actually. No, shout out to you, JC's. Like I said, I mean, just like with Jules, it's like I understand, like those that's against this film. Like I'm not blind to why people are against it or what could work or not work with the film. But I just want to interject, like, hey, they're taking a chance here for sure. And they're banking on James Gunn name recognition. They definitely are. And we'll just see if it works, right? In July, JC, like you'll be here. We're going to be talking about when this film comes out for sure. Max says, is the new audience Gunn's Marvel following? Is that why everything is so Marvelized? To say it's that's kind of a cheap, lazy conclusion. I'm not saying you, Max. I'm just saying in general. When people just call it, oh, this is just a Marvelized, Gunn has his own style, right? Like Gunn, yes, Guardians and there's Marvel formula, and he was there very early. That's what made Guardians great. Nicole Perlman played a huge part in Guardians working, the characters working. But Gunn has done films after that first one when Marvel was hot, when Marvel was not. And Guardians 3 is his best point on the resume. When Marvel was not looking good, phase 4, and Guardians 3 was a huge hit and had one of the best holds in Marvel history when Marvel was down, right? So Gunn can lean on that. And then again, with this new Superman audience, he's trying to do something new. He's trying to not go against. Like I said this in a previous video. I grew up with the Burton, DC, Nolan, Snyder, right? That's a succession. Grounded, dark, and Reeves. You could throw Reeves at the tail end right there. Dark, grounded, DC, and pop culture. Everyone says, oh, the best since Dark Knight. That's how you gauge DC. Gunn is purposely doing the opposite, right? Gunn is purposely doing the opposite of the Burton, Nolan, Snyder, Reeves. That's why Reeves is going to do his film, because it's the total opposite of what Gunn's trying to do. Gunn wants to be more, sensationalized, fantastical. That's not the DC that I grew up on, right? As far as live action, that's more Adam West, Batman. Gunn is trying to do a different aesthetically on purpose. And that's what people got to grasp with this. They're saying like, oh, this looks more colorful. This looks more on purpose. But we're going, again, the results are going to be the results though. So to say it's just simply Marvelized, that's too simple. Gunn, again, just wants to go against the grain or not recreate Burton, Nolan, Snyder, or even Reeves. Will it be an audience? That's what we're going to find out, right? That's the only question in all this that remains. Let's see what we got. 5 minutes. Keep the comments coming, and then I'll try to hit another comment. Tom Holland, like a no-name director, wasn't really Superman, but hey, it's Spider-Man, everyone goes. Yeah, well, no, Spider-Man. So to be fair, to be fair with the Tom Holland thing, that hit because Spider-Man was in the MCU, right? Garfield, Amazing Spider-Man, which is probably the best. It's probably, I'm trying to think, what's my favorite Spider-Man film? Before I say it out loud. Okay, Raimi Spider-Man 2, then the first Raimi Spider-Man, then Amazing Spider-Man Garfield. Because Raimi cooked. My goodness, Raimi cooked so much with Spider-Man. We're not going to talk about Spider-Man 3. But what was my point? Garfield Spider-Man took a little dip because it wasn't Raimi, it wasn't Garfield, or it wasn't Maguire. So the name recognition matters, and even with a big franchise, right? That's my point. Tom Holland, his what was that? No Far From Home. What's the Homecoming? That hit because Spider-Man was introduced in Civil War. He's in Marvel. He's in the MCU. And then that's that Captain Marvel effect. Homecoming is okay. How many times do y'all watch Spider-Man Homecoming? I probably watch it like 2 times. It's okay. Michael Keaton's great in it. So yeah, I would watch it for Michael Keaton again. Far From Home, probably one of the worst Spider-Man films ever. I don't know if it's better than Raimi's Spider-Man 3. But it was in the MCU. That's that Marvel formula. It works because it's a part of Marvel, right? That's the Holland thing. So, I just wanted to push back on that a little bit. Best since Dark Knight. You know it's coming. You know that's coming. The Marvelization extends more than just a tone. Yeah, like I said, it's very easy to look at this James Gunn, the Superman film, and say, oh, it's Marvelization. But Gunn, like I said, I always brought up this kaiju picture. he's going for Silver Age. He's going for big monsters and big galoot, quippy Superman. You know what I mean? That's some Reeves. That's some Silver Age. So yeah, Marvelization. Yeah, that's one thing. But Gunn's actually trying to do like something new for DC, and we'll see. We'll see if it lands. Flicks, picks, and nitpicks. What's good? Gunn's supposed to go a different direction. He cannot do what was done before. If he doesn't connect, perhaps it's too late for this audience. It was better suited with the MCU when the MCU began. Yeah, and that's why I pull up the kaiju picture, because I totally get Gunn trying to go Silver Age. Like, you probably should do that. You know what I mean? Now he's taking some elements, yes, and we talked about that. But ultimately, he is trying to do something new. It's just using similar story elements is kind of odd, in my opinion, with this. If Superman makes the same box office as Thunderbolts on its opening weekend, will that be good enough to consider the movie a success for Gunn's DCU? So Superman, and this is going to be really interesting as we get really close to this release, right? We're less than 2 months away. Superman, yeah, has to have a similar open like Thunderbolts or Brave New World. So 70 to 80 million. Yes. If it's less than that, it will be a flop. It will come out of the gates as a flop. So that's the first marker. Opening weekend, God forbid this does only like 50 million. That's going to be a whole nother can of worms. And I have proof on that. Like, there's numbers and facts to back this up. And we'll talk about it as we get closer. Probably more on the Superman channel, but the results I'll talk about on the main channel, of course. This film, yes, it has to at least do 70 to 80 opening. Some people are thinking 100 million that they could do. We'll talk about that. But yeah, less than 70 million. If you do like 50, 60, this will be a bomb. Yeah. Guaranteed. And like I said, I'll flesh that out in the future with that. This film, Black Adam did 60? Yeah. If it does 60 opening, this is a flop. This will be a flop. DOA, as people say in the chat, DOA, that's when your DOA will be right. If this makes less than Thunderbolts opening weekend. And this will be plastered over all the headlines, because that will be a flop. This film needs to open with, like I said, 70 at the lowest, 80 million they're comfortable, 100 million they're doing victory laps. So that's gonna be interesting, man. It comes down to the numbers, you know. Raimi Spider-Man 2, the best Spider-Man movie. Garfield's the most comic book accurate. It's same. It just, I can't, and I agree with you. I can't deny how Raimi cooked, right? That's quintessential Spider-Man for a lot in my generation, growing up seeing those Raimi films. Spider-Man 2 was just a perfect Spider-Man story. And in his first Spider-Man was a quintessential origin story. I gotta take those two films before and I like Garfield the best, but I gotta take those two films, Raimi films, before Garfield's film. Yeah, gotta do that. Let's throw this up here real quick. I got a few minutes. Let's see if this is a quick one. Really, thankfully, it's a quick one. I'm just hyped for Green Lantern scenes, to be honest. Even if Superman part sucks, at least I got a live action Green Lantern for the first time ever. Interesting. I mean, Guy Gardner, that's not quite the lantern I would have hoped for, but I'll just leave it at that. Yeah. Okay, last comment that I highlighted. Oh, no, I already did this one. Okay, so we got through all the questions. Okay, great. All right. So we can finish up in the chat here. We just wanted to address, because it caused a lot of conversation, that State of the Fandom video. And I'm always open to different opinions, different takes. So that will continue, on this platform. So we got about 2 or 3 minutes before we close this here. Let's see what we got in the chat. Last minute comments or questions, throw it in the chat. What we got? Shout out to Robert Harrison. My 2 cents about this matter, regardless of if it's a hit, Comcast is willing to buy out Warner Bros. Discovery. That merger is only a heartbeat away. That's the bottom line. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Warner Bros. Discovery. Again, let me disclaimer. I'm not here to give stock tips or investment tips. That is up to you and seek professionals for that. This past year was the best time to buy Warner Brothers stock. Like, it was at $6 a share. Now it's at 10. I'm an investor, and it's only gone up. And when the company splits, that's when things are going to get interesting with the Comcast or the Saudis, people like that. That's going to get really interesting. What marketing do you want to see for Superman going forward? Don't mess this up. This story trailer was perfect for this film, right? You're seeing the film that you're getting between this story trailer and that sneak peek. Now, what I mean, the story trailer, you got the premise of this film. You probably already know how this film is going to end at this point, to be quite honest with you. That sneak peek gave you the Gunnisms, right? It gave you the slapstick moments that Gunn's going to have. So again, will that undercut the levity too much for me? That's going to be my challenge to the film. But just keep using TV spots from this story trailer. You don't need any more trailers. Jurassic World Rebirth, they dropped their final trailer. They're done. They're doing TV spots. You're just seeing this trailer, which is great, Jurassic World. That comes out a week before Superman. Superman, you don't need no more trailers. Just cut TV spots from this. We showed enough of the story. You sold Corn Sweat for better or worse. Let's roll out the ball and play, right? That's all they got to do now. So that's what they're doing. I see TV spots where they're just showing the Lex part of that trailer, and they kind of backdrop some images. And then other TV spots, they show you the Corn Sweat arguing with Lois about the heat vision Lois. And then they show you, other little flash shots behind them. Don't show nothing else new, with this film. So that's what I would answer that. People are rooting for James Gunn. Yeah. No, they are. No, I think James Gunn Hollywood has his back. The critics likely going to have his back. It's going to be up to the audience, right? You could try to sell the audience all you want. It's going to be up to that opening audience to decide if this film's going to be a success or not. Jovic hates Gunnisms. All right, last question before I close this out. Do you think Jurassic World Rebirth will pose a threat to how much money Superman makes? So I have an interesting theory with this. I'm gonna say no. I've settled with the fact that just the belief is that, because when we throw up my obligatory July film list here, let's throw this up here. Where's that? It's usually handy. All right, here we go. Shout out to Jovic. I always throw this up because, again, it's just July. It's going to be an amazing month for films, man. Jurassic World Rebirth. They have perfect marketing, okay? They're selling this rebirth. It's in the title, right? You see ScarJo, Mahershala Ali, a new cast. They're hunting dinosaurs, right? It's not just about getting samples They're hunting the dinosaurs while they're being hunted. You got Jurassic World always makes $1 billion, even when the films are bad. This is actually going to be a good one, good film, I think. And they want to go back to the original feel of Jurassic World from the 90s. It's going to crush the first week. Like you see what Lilo and Stitch is doing now, 180. That's what Jurassic World Rebirth is going to do. Then the second weekend, it's going to have like a 50% drop. That's Superman's first week. That's why I said Superman has to get like close to 100 million opening weekend to beat Jurassic World. I believe it can. I believe Superman can. And I think it could be enough unique audience for Superman. Jurassic World Rebirth is likely a 4-quadrant film. Now, what I mean when I say 4-quadrant film, again, this is a term I'm going to use a lot. And I got like 30 seconds. Let me hurry up. 4-quadrant film, meaning men, women, old, young, wants to see the film. That's what Jurassic World Rebirth has. Superman, will you get the old, young? Yeah, I think you can get that with Superman. Men obviously wants action in Superman. Women, they may have an end right there with the Lois Lane and Clark arguing. That actually scored well with women. Just to let y'all know, just the marketing and polling information I get. So Superman is positioned to be a 4-quadrant film as well. That's what's going to make this very interesting. I think both films are going to have its own lane. So just to answer your question, Fernando, I think Superman is going to find his own lane and make its money. I really believe that. I really do believe that. But again, the audience score will prove that overall. I already went over my time, so I got to get going. But Saturdays, make sure y'all here for the live streams. I'm going to slide on out of here. Appreciate all the comments. Keep commenting in the chat underneath as well. If you're on the replay crew, I got to roll. Much love to Sil Nation. Till next Saturday.
Watchmen forever vigilant, steady watching and listening, disciplined, militant, killing these dudes that started visiting. What's the latest word, yo, Sil? We need to know. Tell us what you heard, yo, Sil. We need to know the ins and outs. Who's walking out, buying in? We need to know your thoughts on what you do to stream a hell of a show. Let's go. One hell of a show. Let's